Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2011. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Bermuda, 10:30 a.m. in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. Programming note, tomorrow we will be interviewing Group CEO Toby Esser from Cooper Gay, Sweat and Crawford. One bit of breaking news, and it's strange how sometimes events lead to bigger ramifications. There was a yacht with 4 Americans in it that was on an around-the-world cruise. The yacht was called the Quest. Several days ago, it was hijacked in the Indian Ocean by Somali pirates. It was on all the news in the United States. The American Navy was trailing the yacht. At about 1 o'clock this morning, after hearing gunfire, the Navy intervened. All 4 Americans on the ship were killed. Some 13 Somali pirates were captured. 2 of them were killed. It's quite possible that an event like this will prompt outrage in the United States that will cause the American Navy to become more involved. And our May news, and this is big news, there was another very powerful earthquake in New Zealand today, and it was in Christchurch. The buildings were toppled. A very powerful quake hit downtown, killed at least 65 people. This is the 130-year-old cathedral in Christchurch. It lost a spire. The quake was so large it even shook a massive chunk of ice from the country's biggest glacier, about 120 miles east of Christchurch. More than 100 people are thought still to be trapped in the rubble as night has fallen in Christchurch. Rescue crews with sniffer dogs are searching throughout the city. Some people are able to make text messages or phone calls from underneath the wreckage. This is the second big quake to hit Christchurch, a town of 350,000 people, in 5 months. Although today's quake, a 6.3, caused far more destruction than the stronger September quake that struck at dawn on a weekend. The Prime Minister said it's just a scene of utter devastation. He said we may well be witnessing New Zealand's darkest day. EquiCat has come up with an estimate. The quake struck at 12:51 p.m. local time. The central business district appears badly damaged. Even the suburbs are practically uninhabitable at this point. The airport is open only for emergency landings. EquiCat is saying that the event will cost at least $1 billion. This is in a very early assessment of potential losses. It's obviously going to be much more than that, and our prayers are with the people in Christchurch. Arthur J. Gallagher is making very big news in London. Apparently they're in takeover talks with the London market broker Heath Lambert. This is according to sources close to the company. The proposed acquisition is reportedly at an advanced stage. It would mark Gallagher's most ambitious acquisition yet in the UK market. In 2010, Heath Lambert CEO Adrian Colasso told the Insurance Post it would be a shame if the firm was acquired. He said, "We've been around for 130 odd years. I'd like to see it grow again, but you never know what's around the corner." When approached by the Post, both firms declined to comment on the speculation. The rumors are coming out of many different sources in London right now. No indication on what the possible price would be. Another indication as to perhaps the validity of the Heath Lambert acquisition, Andrew Agnew has popped up. Agnew resigned as chairman of JLT's London market operations in September. He's going to join Arthur J. Gallagher International as chairman. He's going to take up his role on May 1st after his gardening leave is over. In addition to being the chairman of JLT, he was the founder of the independent Lloyd's energy broker Andrew Higgins and Pickering. According to Gallagher CEO David Ross, Andrew's considerable market experience and skills will help us build on our very strong position in the London and international markets. That position is about to become much stronger if the rumors are true. Middle East update. In Libya, a scene of utter carnage. Here's Muammar Gaddafi holding an umbrella. This was taken this morning. He said in in response to questions asked as he was holding the umbrella, "No, I am not in Venezuela. I am here." Apparently, Libyan Air Force fighter planes are strafing the population in Benghazi. 2 fighter planes defected and flew to Malta. Tens of thousands of people are rushing toward the Egyptian border, where Egyptian citizens have overwhelmed the security apparatus and are accepting them into Egypt. In Bahrain, things are quiet right now. Although the protesters are still on the streets, the government seems to have pulled back somewhat. And insofar as claims go with Bahrain, the Formula One race, the insurance industry is highly unlikely to be directly hit from claims coming from the cancellation of the Formula One Grand Prix in Bahrain, although reports are that brokers are trying to find cancellation cover for the event just last week. The event was scheduled to take place in Bahrain beginning March 11th, but the Crown Prince has told the head of the Formula One organization his decision is to focus on immediate issues of national interest and leave the hosting of the race to a later date. That's assuming the Crown Prince is even in Bahrain at the later date. The cancellation of the event is not expected to lead to insurance claims from the Bahrain International Circuit. This is according to Insurance Day. Sources in the market explain that the owners of the racetrack do not have cover in place to protect them against cancellation. They do have other coverages such as public liability and things of that nature. The stock market in New York is down a bit. It's down about 88 points right now. We'll go to a word from our sponsors. The price of oil is up about 7%. It's up to about $97 right now. This is on the unrest in Libya. Meanwhile, in Bermuda, this is coming from the Royal Gazette in Hamilton, executives of Validus and Ariel are still tight-lipped, but sources report that the two companies are inching closer to a merger agreement. The efforts of Validus to take over Ariel have been the talk of the local Bermuda insurance industry since reports arose in London last week suggesting that merger talks were at an advanced stage and that Ariel had invited Validus in to undertake due diligence. After two sources told Mr. Kent, Jonathan Kent, at the Royal Gazette yesterday that a deal was very close, both John Levinson, a senior VP at Validus, and Victoria Guest, general counsel at Ariel, specifically declined to comment on the matter. There is significant overlap between the two companies, which means that some jobs could be cut if a takeover occurred. Approximately 50 people are employed by Ariel in Hamilton, Bermuda. There's also the possibility that other companies may be interested in acquiring Ariel. This could lead to a bidding war. Validus is very familiar with this. They, in fact, were involved in a bidding war with Max Capital over the case of IPC, which Validus eventually won. Here's an interesting story. Aon Benfield has turned down the opportunity to take part in a new revolving co-broker arrangement for Florida's state-sponsored insurance company, the Citizens Property Insurance Corporation. Aon Benfield said it would jeopardize its, quote, proprietary and confidential solutions. Aon was invited along with Guy Carpenter and Willis to co-broke for Citizens, which is considering a return to buying coverage in the private reinsurance market. Citizens has set aside $150 million in its budget for premium payment purchases. Citizens, of course, is the insurer of last resort in Florida for homeowners coverage. It's the largest insurance company, if you can call it that, in the state of Florida. Zurich Financial Services is making a big move towards South America. They're going to pay the Spain-based financial services group Banco Santander $1.67 billion up front for a 51% stake in the life, non-life, and pension operations of the bank's insurance operations in Brazil, Mexico, Chile, Argentina, and Uruguay. Zurich will also pay additional sums based on performance over the next 25 years. The insurer signed a 25-year agreement with Santander, which has 5,600 branches and 36 million customers in the region. Zurich said the deal would make it the number 4 insurer overall in Latin America. Combined, Zurich indicated that it's going to increase the Latin American contribution to Zurich's turnover up to 8% from 4%. That's a 4% move on a pretty big turnover pie. Zurich said the deal would be financed mainly from its existing cash pile, with the balance being financed from new hybrid debt. The deal is supposed to close at the end of the first quarter of 2012. Well, you knew that this wave of discontent going through the Middle East would not quite go as smoothly as it's gone. The events in Tunisia were relatively straightforward. Ben Ali and his wife left. The events in Egypt were relatively straightforward, although they lasted longer. The events in Bahrain produced, unfortunately, a number of deaths, but some sort of stability seems to have been attained. But in Libya, all bets are off. Colonel Gaddafi, who has been in power for over 40 years, has apparently resorted to the hiring of African mercenaries to come in and to mow down his population. He has managed to retain the services of a few loyal fighter pilots who are apparently strafing at will portions of the civilian population. The United Nations Security Council is up in arms. The Libyan ambassador to the United Nations has resigned and said that Gaddafi must go. Truly, a worldwide uproar is occurring. The carnage is going to go on. Libya is a country of only 6 million people, yet they're very responsible for a significant portion of the world's oil budget. It's a shame that Gaddafi can't see the light, as usual. The Toby Esser interview will be tomorrow. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.